Hey, Basket Brains. Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I am alongside Ollie DePina. And welcome to episode 8 of the KO Disc Golf Show. This is episode 8. It is the War Turtle episode. Famous players to wear the number 8 would be Cal Ripken Jr., Alexander Ovechkin, Carl Yastrzemski, Yogi Berra, and Kobe Bryant. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor this week is going to be Krava Organics. Big thank you to them. They've been a huge support for me. So they're one of the big reasons why I'm currently filming this episode in my car down here in Portland. I'm in Portland. Tomorrow is the first round of Portland Open. We are filming this on Wednesday night compared to our normal Tuesday morning just because of technical issues and logistics of getting the episode in and kind of doing it kind of thing. So, but we're excited to do it, and we're excited to be here as always. Ollie, how was your week, man?
Man, it was a good week. I've been having a really busy week. Yeah, it just seems like there's something going on. A lot of moving around, and but it was a good week, really good week, eventful week, I'd say.
Nice. That's great. Well, we'll just kind of get right into the episode. Cascade Challenge was last weekend, and Ollie, you came out and caddied for me for 2 out of 3 rounds for Saturday and Sunday. Once again, man, I really appreciate it. It was awesome having you there. The vibes were immaculate as always with you. I got a couple questions for you about caddying for me.
Hmm.
First and foremost, what was your impressions, and what are your kind of like initial thoughts of kind of being out there and just kind of being on my bag for the weekend?
Yeah, well, first off, like super, as you thank me, I want to thank you for that opportunity. Like, I thought it was like super cool. Like, I've never been to a pro tour event, so being able to see how like all these pros were working and then seeing how like you would take shots and then like good shot, bad shot, how you'd move on from that, how you'd attack that, different kind of like your thought process with that was super cool to see and something that I think I'm working on, like especially with stringing along some of the mental parts of the game of golf and different things like that. So it was really cool to see that. And yeah, I just thought it was such a cool experience. Like, I watch coverages and see people caddying and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that'd be super cool. And a little bummed I'm not going to be able to make it down to Portland this weekend, but starting my season off, I got a tournament on Sunday, so that's going to be fun. But caddying was really cool. And if you ever are at a pro tour event and have the opportunity to caddy for someone or anyone, like it's really, really a fun opportunity to like get at an event and be on the inside and feel a part of the event. It was super cool. Like I kept saying, like we're gonna hit this putt or like we're gonna go do this drive, and it as much as like like I know it's not me, it's just still fun to be there, support and yeah, fist bumps for the good shots and to like validate the bad shots and everything like that. So it was fun.
Yeah, it was. You did all the stuff that I needed out of a caddy, which is I don't necessarily need to talk like so much like strategy, so much as I just kind of want that fist bump for a good shot, and when it's a bad shot, when I'm like, oh man, that kind of sucked, and you're like, not your best, and like those all kind of work really well for me. So you were positive at the right times and not positive at the right times. So that was it was great. You did an awesome job. It was really really cool having you there. One of the other questions I had for you is what do you think was one of the biggest difference between playing on a pro card at that level compared to playing on maybe like an MA2 card or like an MA1 card?
Yeah, like I think just like the total like yeah, pro tournament where there's just pros there, the event feel is different. I remember talking to you, we talked about it a little bit in the car, and it's kind of like and I can like go back and like see when I've done it and like kind of try to like validate my own game and stuff like that. But with amateur tournaments, it's kind of people kind of showing like you're trying to show off like what you can do and like, hey, I can do this shot. Well, I feel like at the pro tour event, everyone knows that they're good. It's just like so it's more. There's definitely a whole different feel of the vibe to it and like the pace of it and everything. Like
Yeah.
it was totally different with that.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like the conversations that we have are a lot different from like what I've noticed kind of thing. Like we were talking about it like afterwards on Sunday, we kind of got a celebratory beer and a burger kind of thing. And I think I said like, what I notice with a lot of amateur players is they'll throw a bad shot and they'll try to explain why they're better than that bad shot and why that's like something that doesn't happen. And then with a lot of pro cards, they throw a bad shot and they're trying to tell you why they're worse than that shot actually is and why they're consistently that bad, even though you're looking at them and being like, you're awesome. What the hell are you talking about? Kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that attitude and that kind of change of mind, from what I've noticed, has been kind of a big deal. So, it was cool. Like I said, man, it was cool having you out there. You're, like I said, like all just great vibes, and it was really great. And Roxy's lucky to have you on the bag when she does, so that's cool. So
Yeah, I had some experience caddying for her, and she's caddied for me a bunch. So I was kind of asking her for some pointers, and like trying to see what does she do for me. And then it's also like I felt like I was able to do a good job too because it's like I think I have an understanding of like I know I threw a bad shot. I don't need to feel better about it. Like it is
mhm.
what it is, kind of thing. And so
Yeah,
like I think being able to be a player that understands those things, I think I was able to catch the cues really well and do that, which was fun. But yeah,
yeah. So
excited.
yeah,
Hopefully, get to get on the bag again this year. And then my goal, hope like I just remember watching you the entire time too. This is something that I was the entire time. I was like, my want to be out there throwing and at that tournament competing was like so high. Like I just next year is definitely on my goal to have that rating to be able to do that, and so I'm excited for that. And this weekend was also able to like solidify some like my goals for the year, and it felt really good.
cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, getting right into like the recap for Cascade Challenge. Um, I played with Connor O'Reilly the last round, who's I would say probably the biggest name that I played with throughout the weekend, and gotta say he's just like all around a really nice guy. That card on Sunday was like a card that I was like, oh, this is like super cool and like super special vibes kind of thing. To hear Conor O'Reilly talking about like Pokemon Go and that kind of thing. I was like, oh, you're a Pokemon fan? He's like, yeah, and he had a bunch of discs that were Pokemon stamped. So I showed him my kind of like Pokemon doodles that I do on my discs. And Co was like, "Oh my god, like look at these!" And like he really liked Connor's because his were like professionally done, and they were like, I think they were like sewer like hubcaps
Hmm.
that they actually have in the streets of Japan. So he was like taking pictures of them and sending them to his friends in Japan, being like, "Oh, look what a card mate of mine has." But just like right out of the bat, like everybody was like vibing really well and kind of like palling around. And like I said, Connor was just like such a nice guy and like just like overall just like a pleasure to play with and kind of be around for a few hours kind of thing. So that was great. Nicholas Antela, round one shot just like absolutely fire. I think his round was almost 1100. I think it finished just below 1100. But 14 down out at Shelton is absolutely incredible. And when you ask a lot of players, like it's very doable. You just have to not miss for the entire day, kind of thing. And it kind of looks like he did. So that's amazing for him. Really impressive. Fellow Discmania teammate kind of thing. So that's really cool. Um, and we're gonna get right into like the ECD check-in because we had a lot of Team ECD players out at the Cascade Challenge. So going down the list here, I came in 27th. Axel came in 47th. Shout out to Alex Maccabee. He came in 71st, and this is probably the biggest event he's played so far in his little young career. So that's awesome. I'm really proud of him and happy to see him kind of get out there. And then shout out to Adam Alexander for pulling in 76th. Sophia came in 10th, and I've had a chance to play with her a bunch in the last like couple of weeks, and she's gonna shred this weekend. I went out and played on Monday with her, and there was a bunch of shots where she was just throwing her eagle, and she was just like, "Yeah, this one's like chalk it up to an easy birdie," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like she's gonna completely destroy like she's gonna destroy Glendoveer. That course is kind of like made for her. So um she's gonna prove that Las Vegas wasn't a one-time thing, like without a
Yeah.
doubt. So but shout out to Candace who came in 21st. And then also shout out to Elena Ivinsky, who she came in 26th, but she's carrying her caddy with her. So for those that don't
Yeah.
know, Elena's like very
26
pregnant.
weeks, 26 weeks
Yeah,
pregnant, 27 weeks
yeah,
pregnant.
yeah, she's very pregnant and she's out there still competing. I saw her in the parking lot. We were kind of joking that her baby's gonna like come out and immediately want to start like running around in circles and like spinning really hard just because he spent so much time now getting like thrown around disc golfing
The
kind of thing.
motion.
Yeah, so That's awesome though. So just good for her that she's still getting out and competing, and she was able to get out there for the whole weekend. So, but congratulations to all of ECD and the box squad that got out there this weekend and got playing in the Cascade Challenge. So
Yeah, sweet.
yeah. So Portland Open, like we said, it's Wednesday night. So I've gotten now 3 days worth of practice out here at Glendevere. And we're going to go West Course on Thursday, West Course on Friday, and then East Course on Saturday. And then there's a cut for Sunday. If you make the cut, you come back and play East Course again on Sunday. Personally, I like the East Course more. I think the East Course is more fun to play. I think the shots are a little more like directly shaped. And there's more like kind of differently shaped shots, where I think on the West Course, there's a little more kind of throw it wherever you want to and kind of throw it far. There's less like necessarily gaps, and there's less shapes so much as there is just kind of like long distance shots. So I do like the East Course more, even though we'll be playing the West, kind of start. So I'm going to be really happy with taking a lot of pars, for the most part. There's going to be a handful of birdie opportunities, and I'm going to try to capitalize on them, but I'm not going to be stressing myself out about just taking pars up and down the place, all over kind of thing. So, one thing I wanted to do, and I don't have to see these people week in and week out, so I want to kind of call out some pros for being really nice, and then also call out some pros for not being so nice. And my version of being nice or not being nice is when you see a solo player or people who are behind you who are much faster than you let them play through. It's kind of in disc golf like a really like common thing. It's really common courtesy. So players that have been awesome this week that have let us do that, Chandler Kramer and Jake Wolf, those two were playing when Sophia and I kind of got up to them, and they're like, hey, you guys should definitely go through. We're taking our time. And then we threw some shots, and they were like, you guys are awesome. Like, that was such a good shot. Da, 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 da. Like, those two, so nice, so awesome. Anything you would have thought about them, they are like super nice guys. Luke Sampson and Maria Olivia, same thing. They saw us coming up, and they're like, oh yeah, play on through. Like, you guys are moving faster than us. Like, by all means. They were also throwing like a bunch of shots, like off of every tee and approach shot. And they're like, yeah, like by all means. And then we threw some shots, and they're like, good shot. That was awesome. And you're like, thanks, like super nice, like those kind of people.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Maria. She's one of like when I first got into disc golf, she was like Roxy's favorite player, still is. It was like one of my favorite players too, because I remember she would do a lot of stuff with Haley King. But we've been fans of her forever. Roxy's first like disc she bought was like a Maria Oliva AVRX3. We were so excited she threw it at Lakewood, posted on the story, and she reposted, and we were just stoked. So
Nice.
That's awesome. Great to
That's
hear
awesome.
that.
Yeah, she seems great. And then Madison, I don't know how to say her last name, Tamino. She's from Oregon, and she's from the Portland area. And I was playing by myself, and she's like, hey, like, play on through. I was like, hey, appreciate it. So that's the kind of common courtesy thing that I think is just really nice in disc golf. And it's not that it speaks everything about your character, but it says a lot. And I will say a couple of players that did not let me play through as a solo player, Andrew Presnell, Chris Clemens, Hannah Wynn, they saw me coming up, and I will say there was two FPO players that also let me play through. They were like, yeah, they're not letting us play through. They see us and they kind of jump in their golf cart and go. So I don't know. I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna do this again next week too, because I'm playing Beaver State Fling, so I'm gonna have a whole new batch of people that are either gonna be awesome and being like, hey, go on through, or people that are gonna see you coming and then rush down the fairway so you don't catch up to them, which is like crazy, right? So
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. That's my people who let you play through and people who don't let you play through on the Pro Tour update. If you haven't noticed already, our interview with amateur world champion Axel Olson is currently up and on YouTube here. It was really awesome. I mean, it was so cool getting him to sit down in ECD. We want to do more interviews like that. We're kind of getting some players together and some people from the community that we're going to get together to kind of do that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I'm really excited about these. I had so much fun. Like I hadn't like I haven't talked to Axel too much before that and had like that much of a relationship, and you definitely did, and so it was really cool seeing you guys talk about different things, and then I was able to ask him some questions that is just like as a fan like of his game and stuff. It was really cool to ask, and then see him at Shelton that next like during that weekend was really cool as well. So really stoked about getting these rolled out and think they're going to be like really really fun and like get to show off these people and sides you wouldn't normally see of these people. Like how talkative Axel was really really cool. So definitely go
Yeah,
check that
totally.
out. And yeah, we just enjoyed some bok bok and it was awesome.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the interview?
I think my favorite part after watching it again, I go back and I really like the beginning when we're kind of all silent and we all kind of do the little different chicken bites,
Hmm.
and so it's like crunch crunch crunch, all three of
Yeah.
us a little chicken ASMR. I thought that was probably one of my favorite moments. I like pulling that one up, and because people are like, oh, that's pretty funny and pretty sweet,
Yeah.
and shows off like the I don't know, just it gets to show off so much of like what our sponsors are too, like with Bok Bok, with being at ECD doing them. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah. I want to say my favorite part might have been either when he was like, "Yo, I love Texas Roadhouse," or when I asked him what his favorite Disney movie was, and when go to the interview to watch, that especially that part, he had me cracking up because I in a million years I would never have predicted that movie, and he kind of looked at me was just like, "You've never seen it," and I'm like, nobody's ever seen that, man. So go over to the interview, check it out. There's a little teaser for you, is that it's great, and so was amazing with it. So
Yeah, use hashtag AskKODG and like let us know who you want to see us interview if there's any like big players that you want to see more talked about and different things like that in the Washington area. Uh, and yeah,
yeah, jumping right into our baseball check-in. Truth be told, my notes for the Red Sox are a couple days old, just because I did them for our Tuesday show. But the Red Sox are still kind of middling at about 500. We did sweep the Rays in Tampa Bay for the first time since 2019. That's kind of been a house of horrors for us. So it's been really tough. Hard just, going in there and just kind of taking it all the time. So, um, Devers is going off. I think at one point he homered in 6 straight games, which I was absolutely pumped about. And we got this guy, Willie Abreu, who's a rookie who still just kind of I don't want to say he came out of nowhere, but he's lighting it up, and he's kind of been a bright spot for our lineup this year. So yeah, Mariners are still clutching onto that first place by a few games. Ollie, you want
yep.
to get into that a little bit?
We got it by 4 games now, and as this is being filmed Wednesday night, we just got our third win in a row against the Astros. So that's like really feels good. But I mean, they weren't doing too well, but it just feels good to be like crushing on them a little bit. Um, some big one thing aside from it wasn't an Acuna, didn't he? Isn't he out for the year?
Yeah, Ronald Acuna. Yeah, he
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna Jr. Yeah, he tore his. It's a second ACL tear. He told it. Yeah, he tore his other one, so it's just he's torn both of them at this point.
That is so
Um, it
so
sucks.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it kind of hits a point where it's just like he might just be susceptible to that kind of thing, which he stole 70 bases last year. At some point, you got to be like, hey man, like we don't need you to steal bases. We need you to stay on the field and hit like 40 home runs and bat
Yeah.
280. Like there you go, kind of thing. So yeah, unfortunate to see. I mean, he hasn't been hitting too well anyways this year. So, and I don't know how much the Braves won the World Series without him before. So it's not like he's going to leave and the Braves all of a sudden are going to be like without a huge, they're just
Yeah.
unable to do it going forward, kind of thing. So, but yeah, definitely a bummer. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving right along. We're trying to make this episode a little quick. Truth be told, like we said, Wednesday night, I got to play, or I get to play Portland Open tomorrow. So I want to try to get some rest. Quick shout out to Jojo Nybar. I don't know if he watches these or not, but he's gonna come out and caddy for me Thursday and Friday, and then I got Toby coming out on Saturday, which I'm also really excited about. So it'd be really cool having them. And then also quick shout out to Sean Martin and Marquesa. They came out yesterday. They kind of just saw me in the parking lot and they were like, "Hey, like, can we come out and kind of like follow you a little bit?" And I was like, "Sure, if you want to, you know." And they ended up being like really, really awesome for the time that they were out there. They were helping me like shag discs, you know, kind of like off the fairway and stuff. And you know, they're kind of helping me like film some stuff. And like Marquesa was like carrying my umbrella for me, and I was just like, wow, like thank you all so much. I just wanted to say like thank you to them. It was so appreciated. He made me feel really special. So just, you know, thank you for that. So
Yeah, they support Washington Disc Golf and like Seattle Disc Golf a lot, and they have done since they've really taken over Mineral Springs and North Park. It's just gotten nothing but better, and so I love them. I think they're great people. I remember Marquesa. I cramped up at a tournament. It was at the Jackson tournament, and she was right there. Next thing I know, like she was just working out my calf for like 10 minutes, and I was like, because there's a little backup, and I was like, this is amazing. So they're really great people, like
yeah,
really really great people.
yeah, definitely people that we'll talk about trying to get on the show for that kind of interview at some point. So
Yeah,
it'd be cool to have the kind of four of us sitting at a table there.
yeah.
But all right, yeah, we're gonna move right along and get right into the draft for this week. This is one that I am have been super excited about doing since I thought about it a couple weeks ago. We're not continuing with the letter draft this week. We're gonna do a sandwich draft. So we're just gonna draft different types of sandwiches. Um,
Oh wow, I think you got me by like one vote.
Did I? Nice. Yeah, I was feeling good about last week's. So
I think this was the most or second most votes we've had in a draft. Oh, it's the most votes we've had in a draft. So
nice.
pretty
That's
sweet.
great.
It was 47% for me and 53% for you. So as close as it gets.
Every vote matters. See that? So go over to the community tab on our YouTube page. Vote for who you want to win or whose list you think is better. Like we said, this week we're going to do sandwiches. So you're going to go over, you're going to vote for who you think drafted the better 4 sandwiches. And winner gets, you know, the option of having the number 1 pick. I did win, so I am going to have the number 1 pick this week. And my board is huge. I have so many sandwiches in here.
You don't understand how Kirby's been saying he's gonna blow me out of the water with this.
Man.
So I'm excited to hear some of them because maybe I'm gonna get some ideas. But I think there's I think I have a pretty good list too, and so I'm excited.
Yeah, some of them they range from the simple to why is that on there kind of thing. But for the number 1 overall pick for sandwiches, I'm gonna pick the cheeseburger.
As a sandwich?
The cheeseburger's a sandwich, bro. There's cheese, there's meat, there's buns.
Yeah. I think I just didn't even think about that.
I think that I kind of broke you a little bit. Yeah. A cheeseburger's a sandwich. Argue it.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. I agree. Yeah, it has all the stuff on it.
You know?
Dang.
Yeah, it's just hot.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
But yeah, I mean,
that's a great pick. I love
cheeseburgers are legit. Nothing. I mean, it was Memorial Day this past weekend. I know some people got down on some like grilled hamburgers, you know, some grilled cheeseburgers. So yeah,
you kind of broke me. Now I'm thinking like, what did I not have as a sandwich? As a sandwich, it's flooding.
All right. You got the number 2 and the number 3 pick. What you got?
Well, I'm gonna go with maybe my favorite sandwich to get, and it's there's a lot of different variations depending where you're at with it. But my favorite meat in a sandwich is usually a steak. A Philly cheesesteak is like one of my favorite sandwiches. You can't go wrong. I feel like the meat, cheese melt in there. The onions you usually get in there. The peppers sometimes. You know, I think a Philly cheesesteak is
on my list. Yep.
That is one of the ones I really enjoy. And then the second one, I think I've actually possibly drafted this in a prior draft before in our disc golf. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe it was one of the ones I missed. But a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's something I have so much.
Yeah.
So I think the PB&J disc golfers know it because it's easy to pack, easy to have, kind of thing like that.
Yeah,
Uncrustables are PB, like that kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
whole thing.
I would have accepted that as a sandwich.
Oh, that's a whole
Uncrustable.
different one. That's real.
No, no, yeah, no. Just as like a peanut butter and jelly, you know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean, kind of
yeah, yeah.
sandwich. That's yeah. Peanut butter and jellies are kind of goated, from the time that you're absolutely a child until like you're. I mean, I'm
Till death.
30. Yeah, I'm 33. Like, dude, I'm still smashing PB and J. So like, I don't mind. Um, Good picks. Yeah, good picks. For my number 4 pick, I'm gonna pick like the classic Italian cold cut.
Okay.
Like the classic Italian sandwich, like salami, capicola. There's gonna be some like Swiss on there. I really love it with like chopped iceberg lettuce. I'm a child, so I get it without tomato, but classically, there's gonna be tomato on there. They're gonna put like the herbs, like the oregano, and then hit it with like the oil, the vinegar, the salt, the pepper. Maybe put some banana peppers on there. Maybe put some pickles. Like, absolutely love that. So,
Okay.
the Italian cold cut, high on my list of
I like
sandwiches.
that.
And then I'm also gonna pick a Cuban. I love the Cuban
Oh,
sandwich, like a pressed Cuban sandwich. You put the yellow mustard on there and the pickles, and you get some like nice pulled pork and a little ham too. The Swiss that melts into it, it hits really hard for me. I absolutely love that. So, yeah, Italian and Cuban are going to be my 2 sandwiches there. So you got the wraparound at 6 and 7.
okay. So for my sixth, my third pick, I'm going kind of similar to like I'm going for like the more generic pick, something that I feel like people have a lot. It is a BLT.
Yeah, good one.
I also am not the biggest tomato fan, so sometimes I do it without the
Like a
T.
BL.
I just
Yeah,
do the BL sometimes,
yeah, yeah.
but
Bro,
st
sometimes I just make a B.
the B's go hard. I'm not gonna lie, but a BLT from Jimmy John's with like the chips that they have, I'd sprinkle the chip like some
Yeah,
sea
yeah.
salt and vinegar chips on top for that crunch.
Hmm.
Goes so ridiculously hard. Got me through high school.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good one.
and then my last sandwich is a sandwich that you can go get. It's from a cafe, and I believe they're in Ballard. They used to be on Mercer Street, but it's a specific sandwich from them, and it's called the Ragin' Cajun. It is
Oh, I
it
know
is one
this
of my
one.
yeah, Cajun turkey, pepper jack cheese, tomato, onion, spicy
Hmm.
salsa mayo. It is
Yeah.
hands down.
It's
And if you are a little bit more keen to a little spice, I actually always get the detonator. I've been getting the detonator recently, and it's just
okay.
a little more peppers, and it's pretty bomb. But
That's from
those the turkey, Other
that's from
Coast
the other
Cafe,
coast, right?
Other Coast Cafe.
Yeah, yeah. There used to be one in Capitol Hill that I would go to a lot, but they closed now. But that sandwich that you're talking about is a damn good sandwich. There's no arguing that for sure. Um, Good pick. Yeah, that's a specific but good pick.
I
Yeah,
thought I'd go, a couple PB&J, BLT, broad ones.
yeah.
And then we got the cool picks. You can go get them yourself.
Okay.
Cheeseburger threw me off though.
I know it
Still,
did.
still
Yeah, I
no.
know you weren't ready for that. Yeah. Um. Okay. So I want to give a couple honorable mentions before I give my last pick. My last pick is for me. It's my personal favorite. And if my dad listens to these, which I would bet so much money that my dad does not listen to these at all, my dad would be really proud of this pick as well. So my honorable mentions are going to be the Baka Bak barbecue sandwich. With
Oh,
with that ginger slaw, hits really hard, super super good. It's messy, but I absolutely love it. There is a sandwich from Paseo that is really messy. It's their like Caribbean pork sandwich. That one is
mm,
also like delicious. That's the kind of sandwich though, like you pick it up and then you just like eat it, and then when you're done, you're wiping yourself off from like the elbow up kind of
yeah.
thing because it's so messy, but it's really really good.
I did have
Uh,
a question. So
yeah,
with the cheeseburger pull, is a hot dog a sandwich?
a hot dog could be a sandwich. I mean, I don't. It's hard to view a hot dog as a sandwich, but like it could be. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You got me my world's
Well,
spinning.
maybe not because a hot dog might be more of like a wrap because it's connected on the backside.
What if you disconnected the buns and still had it?
So then I would count that as a sandwich because
Okay,
like
cool.
you can take like a hoagie roll, pop it open, stuff it. Like I
Yep.
don't know, probably I don't know. There's a fine line. Yeah, and that fine line is the breaking point of the bread on the backside for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
because
I
we're not.
will if a hot dog was a Seattle like a hot dog with the cream cheese and onions is like one of my favorites too.
That's
Late
really good.
night,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
That's a good hot dog for sure. Okay, my other honorable mentions is the turkey club, but the turkey club cut specifically into fourths and then
Mm.
put around the plate with potato chips in the middle. That one,
Mm.
it has to be that way. If it's cut in half, it's garbage. It's not a good turkey club.
Kind of with my BLT pick. Like if you're not putting the salt and vinegar chips, like I don't know what you're
Yeah,
doing, bro.
it kind of that those two kind of go a little too hand in hand for me, which is why I wouldn't want to pick it. And then grilled cheese is kind of another one that I had as my honorable mention because grilled cheeses are good. And then ice cream sandwich was my last honorable mention because
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of like a wild card. I didn't know where this draft was going to go. But for my eighth pick, I'm going to pick a sandwich called the Stinger. Now, the Stinger is
Ooh.
a sandwich that is very specific to Western New York, specifically like the Buffalo slash like kind of Niagara Falls kind of area. We're not exactly East Coast. We're not exactly Midwest. We're a little bit in between. And I think the sandwich is a good representation of that. The
Mm.
Stinger sandwich is what you would take like a steak and cheese, which is like a classic, just like chopped steak, provolone, and then like lettuce, tomato, mayo. And then you would also take a classic chicken finger sandwich where you fry chicken fingers, toss them in like your choice of buffalo sauce, put that on a bun with like lettuce, tomato, mayo kind of thing. So what you do is you take the chicken finger sub, you take the steak and cheese sub, you put them on top of each other basically. It's half if it's half steak and cheese, it's half chicken finger, all in the same sandwich. You got lettuce, tomato, mayo. Sometimes people put blue cheese on it, which I also think is really
Ooh.
good. It's really, really good. It's like a gut bomb. There's a place in Western New York called Jim's Steakout that if you're ever in like Buffalo for anything, Jim's Steakout has some of like the best sandwiches. Just go there and get like a chicken finger sub. It's so good. They call them subs out there. Um, but yeah, the Stinger is going to be my kind of my last pick is going to be a pick specifically for me and a little bit of a wild card. So
Bonus, what's your go-to Seattle sub spot?
Seattle subs. Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
like
really
Seattle
have.
sandwich.
Yeah, I don't really have like a good like Seattle
Oh,
sandwich spot to be honest.
I Tubbs subs is one of my
Tubbs.
favorite.
Okay,
Tubbs
I've heard that
subs.
before, so I
If
haven't
you
been
go,
there.
their pesto is really good. Like they have a couple of pesto sandwiches that are really
Okay,
good.
nice.
But
Yeah, all right.
I was just curious. That's one of my favorites. If not other coast, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really
For
have.
me.
I mean, I kind of struggle with sandwich spots out here because I have a really specific thing that I'm looking for, or I have a specific thing in mind, and a lot of places are they just it's a different style of sandwich kind
Yeah,
of thing, and I just kind of don't get the exact thing. So,
for real.
um, yeah, the other coast is fire though. Yes, when I like I said when I lived on Capitol Hill, I'd go there all the time. It's so good. Was that the Honey Hole is the other place on Capitol Hill that I think they're
Mm.
closed now, but Honey Hole used to have a sandwich called the Bandit, and the Bandit was like amazing. It was like smoked brisket with like a barbecue sauce and a coleslaw. It was so good. And they get their bread from a company called Wild Wheat, which is out in like I want to say it's out in like Redmond or something like that. And they Wild Wheat Bakery just makes some of like the best baguettes and the best loaves I've
Mm.
ever had. So so
Switch on
good.
game.
Yeah.
Foodies, listen up.
All right, so that was our sandwich draft. Like I said, go over to the community tab and go over and vote for whoever you think drafted the best four sandwiches. To recap, Ollie drafted the Philly cheesesteak, peanut butter and jelly, a BLT, and the Ragin' Cajun. I drafted a cheeseburger, the Italian cold cut, a pressed Cuban sandwich, and a Stinger sub. So
Oh, I'm about to go. That's funny. I'm about to go have a sloppy Joe. I think that could have been an honorable mention.
Sloppy Joe's would have counted, man. Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Meatloaf sandwich too, actually kind of like low key hits really hard. Yeah.
Hey, I'm for it. I'm for it.
Yeah. All right, Ollie, you want to close this out, bud?
Yeah, wrapping up the episode, little quote of the day. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. Winston Churchill.
All right.
Good luck to Kirby this week at Portland. When you're watching this, he'll be teeing off in about a few hours, so tune into that and good luck with that, Kirby.
Thanks, man. Yeah, tee off at 2 for you tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. So cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.